Robinson dashes to the plate. It's close, and umpire Summers calls him safe on the daring maneuver. But Yogi Berra doesn't think so.
Hi again, this is Corey with DNC Ball Cards, back again with another Junk Wax Era video. Today this is going to be a follow-up video on the 1991 Conlon Collection. We now have a 1992 Conlon Collection. So we already talked about the history behind Charles Conlon and the baseball photography he took in the early to mid-1900s. So we won't go into that again. And I will try to keep these videos short as to where you can consume them. We'll have a little editing as we go through some of the packs. But the cool thing about this box is it actually features autographs. I mean, it's not guaranteed, and it's probably very, very doubtful, but there were 20,000 cards that have been autographed by living greats from the historic era and randomly inserted into packs. And so, obviously, this was in 1992. You know, Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, you know, those players had long since passed. But there are going to be several of these living Hall of Famers that autographed cards. And I did see a listing of those somewhere, but I could not find it. And, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and find one of those. I think that's Huey Jennings on the front. I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm not positive, but that's a historic photograph that I've seen in the past. So what we're going to do is we're going to rip into this. I'm going to open one pack on the front end on the camera, and then I will bust through the rest of the packs except one, and we'll just edit that and fast forward through the video so that the video is still very short. When we come back, I'll show you the various the cool cards that I would say, the various hits from those openings, and then we'll open one last pack on camera at the end to close out the video. So without further ado, we'll rip into this. I did get this box on eBay. It does appear to be very well kept, which is good. Can't remember exactly how much I paid for it. Probably about $15 to $20. I think these were a little more expensive, the Conlon collections, than my typical Junk Wax Era boxes, which I try to keep to about 10 to 12 bucks a box. And as you can see, these packs are similar to the 1991 packs that were kind of difficult to open, but these I had to open the last ones with a pair of scissors because they didn't have the ability to rip open, but I guess they got some feedback, and you can now open these by hand, so that's cool. So we'll open this first pack on camera, and then we'll kind of fast forward through the rest. I guess we'll find out. I think that is Huey Jennings. We're going to find out. It says EI. It's the first pack. And looks like Smokey Joe Wood is on the back here. So I believe that's two Hall of Famers. Yeah, these open much more easily than those 1991 packs. Now, these cards do have the black borders. I didn't make mention in the 1991 video, but you know, a large majority of the cards, if not 90% of the cards of that box, kind of had some minor damage, not necessarily from the way the box was kept, just more of the way these borders are. But these actually look better. It looks like there's some dust and other things on here. But Detroit Tigers manager nicknames, EI. So let's see. Yep, that is Huey Jennings. That's who I thought that was. So that's cool. I just really appreciate the photography of these cards. There's not much value at all to these cards. It is kind of cool to maybe chase an autograph or something, but you can see another nickname here, Specs. Specs Toperser. I'm not sure how you say that, but clearly he wore glasses. This is probably well before the era of contacts. There's a Rogers Hornsby, one of the great all-time second basemen. Joe Cronin. Pete Scott. There's Grover Cleveland Alexander. I believe he had some demons that he battled throughout his career. I think alcoholism, and but was one of the great all-time pitchers, particularly of this era. Triple Crown winner. I'm assuming for pitchers that would be wins, ERA, and strikeouts, I believe. Lou Finney. That's a cool action shot there. Looks like he's got something. He's probably got a baseball sticking out of his back pocket. I'm not sure what that is, but there's definitely something in his back pocket. Art Fletcher. You can see how much he's choked up on the bat. A lot of these players from this era didn't necessarily hit for power. They hit to get on base and choke up, which would oftentimes take out some of the power. Wade Hoyt, Hall of Famer. Wes Farrell. This has got a question mark. Why not in Hall of Fame? So I'm sure there's some description on the back here that maybe addresses that or talks about his statistics and why they feel maybe he should be in the Hall of Fame. Again, these cards are very cool for just people that like to read about baseball. Again, here you'll see great stories, so there's going to be a cool story. On the back of this card, Hack Wilson, I believe he's got the single season record for RBIs. He really hit 57 home runs that year, 1924. Ernie Vick, he definitely didn't hit 57 home runs. I don't think the record books show that, so they must be talking about some kind of, I'm not sure. I'll be interested to read that. Ernie Vick, St. Louis Cardinals catcher, 2 sports here. So he probably played football as well or something. Frankie Hayes, Jesse Haynes, no-hitter, and as I mentioned, Smokey Joe Wood. Obviously the real tragedy for these cards and just this history of American history is, there are no black players or other players of color in this that I know of. If they are, it's these players certainly weren't in the majors, and I don't think that's the case. So you're basically going to see only players that were in the major leagues at this time, which obviously were all white players, with the occasional Native American, typically. The other white players would nickname them Chief. So it would be great to have some historic pictures of the other era as well. But as I mentioned, what we're going to do here is we're just going to open the rest of these packs very quickly and I'll edit this so that it's a very short segment, and then we'll come back and see what we got. And we're back here to quickly kind of go through the various cards that we got during those pack openings. These are kind of cool. We got the only player to throw consecutive no-hitters, and we actually got both of those no-hit cards. You can see the dates here at the bottom. June 11th, 1938, and then June 15th, 1938. So he threw back-to-back no-hitters. Johnny Vandermeer, the only player to do that. These are kind of cool. We got Dizzy and Daffy Dean here with the Cardinals, and then Dazzy Vance with the Cardinals. So Dizzy, Daffy, and Dazzy. We got a Rube Marquard, Hank Greenberg, John McGraw, the famous manager, Hack Wilson, Luke Appling. This is kind of cool. I actually retweeted this the other day on on Twitter during an Old Timers game. 75-year-old Luke Appling hit a home run against Warren Spahn. 75 years old. He could barely make it around the bases, but he did. You should definitely Google that video. It is definitely worth a watch, or find it on our Twitter stream. Tris Speaker, Enos Slaughter. Here's Shoeless Joe Jackson. I did not know he played for the Cleveland Indians, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure if that was, I guess that was before the White Sox or possibly after the White Sox, because I don't think the Black Sox scandal, I don't think they got banned immediately. I think they played for another year or so. I could be wrong about that, but didn't know Joe Jackson was a Cleveland Indian. So this is the kind of thing that that you find out. Nap Lajoie, Al Simmons, Mickey Cochran, and these are just a few of the cards, Hall of Fame cards. There were still a lot of others that I didn't pull out just because they weren't as big of a name. There's Walter Johnson, the big train with those super long arms. There's Grover Cleveland Alexander. There's another Walter Johnson. We got these back to back. I got these back to back. Christy Mathewson, Walter Johnson, two of the probably the two best pitchers of this era. Eddie Plank. There's a Lou Gehrig, Triple Crown winner in 1927. George Sisler. Well, I don't know if he won the Triple Crown in 1927. I'll have to read the back, but he says Triple Crown winner in 1927 on the bottom. So George Sisler, Burley Grimes, Home Run Baker. I thought this was cool. He's not a Hall of Famer, I don't think. No, but Johnny Burnett got 9 hits in one game. It was an extra inning game, so that was kind of just a cool piece of history. Chief Bender, Lefty Grove. There's Mordecai Three Finger Brown, Connie Mack, Eddie Collins. There's Harry Hooper. There's Casey Stengel, the old professor. There's Babe Ruth card. Bill Clem, famous umpire. I think maybe the only or one of the few umpires elected into the Hall of Fame. Jimmy Fox, Connie Mack. And there's a Ty Cobb. It's going to have a good story on the back of that card I'll read later. There's Jim Thorpe, not a baseball Hall of Famer, but a famous multi-sport athlete, Olympian. Bob Feller, and Hank Greenberg. So these, again, there's no value to these, but if you just like baseball history, these are definitely cool cards to open. This is our final pack here. I have saved a few packs that I'm just gonna save for myself and put up as a pack collection purposes, but this will be our last pack here. Riggs Stevenson, Joe Ginowich. There's a George Sisler, Hall of Famer. Kent Greenfield, Bill Hallahan. There's Eddie Plank, great pitcher. Pants Rowland, American League umpire. Jack Smith. There's another Lou Gehrig card. Black Mike. Phil Tott. Walt French. Mal Eason, another umpire. Walter Johnson, and we got those again. There may have been some sequencing issues with these cards, but I got those back to back in another pack. Walter Johnson and Christy Mathewson. So again, thanks for watching. If you like baseball history, I would definitely encourage you to just kind of check out these cards. You can get them very inexpensively. This was the 1992 box. There's also 93, 94, and 95. Now those boxes actually do get more expensive for whatever reason. The 91 and 92 are the most affordable. But again, thanks for watching. Until next time, see ya.